I always say this is not a topic that I chose. This is a topic that chose me and my family and the country that I in part grew up in, Algeria. My father had already been getting himself into trouble in the early 90s, and the fundamentalist groups started by targeting intellectuals. He was a professor of anthropology, and he got into trouble, as is the case in a number of places in the world, because he taught Darwin in his anthropology classes. And the head of the Islamic Salvation Front came and denounced him in the classroom in front of his students, finally had to stop teaching at the university and even to stop living in the family apartment. And he never stopped speaking out, and that was the thing that stayed with me. In a season when the fundamentalist groups were killing an Algerian intellectual every Tuesday, early on a Tuesday morning, some unwanted and unknown visitors showed up at our house and began pounding on the door, and they would not go away. And my father tried to get the police on the phone, but at that time, the fundamentalist groups were also targeting police officers, and perhaps for that reason, no one answered at the police station. And so we were really left to face whoever was on the other side of the door alone. And this was exactly 1 week to the day when one of my father's colleagues, a sociologist, had been killed in front of his children. And somehow I got this idea in my head, no matter what, that is not going to happen here. And so I went into the kitchen and I took a knife out of the drawer that you would use, for example, to peel potatoes, and I went and stood in front of the doorway. Now, as I always say, my family was very lucky on that day. Whoever it was went away, and we never found out exactly why or what had happened. But so many other families were not so lucky, and as many as 200,000 Algerians were killed, many of them at the hands of the fundamentalist armed groups. And I think the fact of the experience of those other families is really what has motivated me, in part, to do this work. And so the question that begins the book is, could I protect my father from the armed Islamic group with a paring knife? So it's a collection of stories, whether it is the story of Maria Bashir, the first woman chief prosecutor in Afghanistan, in Herat in western Afghanistan, who is so under threat that she receives at home envelopes with bullets in them, with the number of bullets equaling the number of members of her family. And I asked her, with this level of threat, once even one of her bodyguards lost his leg, for example, in a bomb attack that was aimed at her. I asked her, why do you keep going? She smiled and she said, you mean why you risk not living? And so that is the name of that chapter of the book. And, she said her answer was very simply that if people in her situation didn't take risks, there would be no better futures for all of the Maria Bashirs, all of the people to come. I keep doing this work even when it's very controversial, and sometimes you get some negative feedback. Some of the people in the book who are continuing to do what they're doing. And when I see people's determination to continue in these incredibly difficult situations, who am I to give up? That is not an easy choice. That is not a naive optimism, but it is a radical choice for hope, even in the face of very dark clouds in the sky. And I think it's the choice we all have the responsibility to try to make.